Good to have you back on today's episode of our book review. I know that you have been enjoying, all that we have been, discussing on this channel for returning viewers. But if this is your first time, if you're a first timer on this channel, kindly click like, share, and the subscribe button. And also turn on your notifications so that you will get notifications every time we post updates here. So we're actually currently studying Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I promised us that today was going to be the last video for this book. We are going to review chapter 11 to 16. Yeah, 16, 15, thereabout. Chapter 11 is titled The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. So I went ahead to define transmutation. It is the act of changing or the state of being changed into another form. The author said the meaning of the word transmute is, in simple language, the changing or transferring of one element or form of energy into another. Remember the topic. The title of this the title of this chapter says the mystery of sex transmutation. So here's what the author is saying. As humans, we all have sexual urges, right? Good. Now, for you to amount to anything very serious in life, you cannot always be given to your sexual urge. So the author is advising that we transmute this energy into, creative energy. You understand? So instead of always giving into sex always, why not transmute that energy into something else, into working on a project, into doing something that's more beneficial than sex? Because of a truth, it will always come. There's a chapter here, there's a paragraph here. It said, a river may be dammed and its water controlled for a time, but eventually, if it will force an outlet. Don't try to suppress your sexual urge. It will always come out. It will always force itself out. Instead, learn to transmute it. He said, the same is true of the emotion of sex. It may be submerged and controlled for a time, but its very nature causes it to be ever seeking means of expression. If it is not transmitted into some creative effort, it will find a less worthy outlet. So intentionally decide that, okay, this urges I'm having, I'm going to transmute it into something else. He also said transmutation of sex energy calls for a more willpower than the average person cares to use for this purpose. Those who find it difficult to summon willpower sufficient for transmutation may gradually acquire this ability. Process. The reward for the practice is more than worth the effort. You have to try to transmute this thing. Tell me how many sex maniacs or even alcohol maniacs amounted to much. I will wrap up this chapter by saying something that the author said. He said, there is no other road to genius than through voluntary self-effort. You have to try to be in control of your body, of yourself. Don't always give in to all of those things that will not fetch you much. Focus on your goal, your dreams. Transmute those urges, and you will be glad that you did. So on to chapter 12, titled The Subconscious Mind. The Connecting Link is the subtitle. So he says the subconscious mind consists of a field of consciousness in which every impulse of thought that reaches the objective mind through any of the five senses is classified and recorded. Your subconscious does a recording. From here, thoughts may be recalled or withdrawn as letters may be taken from a filing cabinet. So the way you retrieve your letters from a cabinet, that's how your subconscious taps into your mind. It receives and files sense impressions or thoughts, regardless of their nature. You may voluntarily plant in your subconscious mind any plan, thought, or purpose which you desire to translate into its physical or monetary equivalent. The subconscious acts first on the dominating desires that have been mixed with emotional feeling, such as faith. So, you know what captured me in this first two paragraphs is the fact that your subconscious mind is an automatic recorder. It records the things that your conscious mind thinks and recalls it and ponders on them and broods on them. So if you keep thinking negative things, your subconscious is always thinking about negative things. And by that, you only attract negative things. Remember, we said it in one of the chapters we studied before today, that your subconscious doesn't care whether the things that you think about is negative or positive. Its job is to record and call out the things that you have thought about. So it is in your consciousness that you actually make effort to ensure that the things that you think about are positive. There's a poem also here for us. It says, "You never can tell what a thought will do in bringing you hate or love. For thoughts are things, and their airy wings are swifter than carrier doves. They follow the law of the universe. Each thing creates its kind. And they speed over the track to bring you back whatever went out of your mind." We cannot overemphasize, as you think in your heart, that is what you are, because that is what you definitely will eventually become. The author listed 7 negative emotions to be avoided: the emotion of fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, and superstition. Said we should avoid these thoughts. They will not land us, any good. They will not land us any good. So try as much as possible to always think good thoughts. Thoughts are things. Chapter 13. It is titled "The Brain, a Broadcasting and Receiving Station for Thought." So in this chapter, the first statement that got my attention was, it said, "Thought is energy traveling at an exceedingly high rate of vibration." Thought is energy. So if I realize that my thought has an energy, I understand that it has the ability to fetch me whatever I need. Why would I give strength or energy to the wrong things? Why? Our thoughts, according to the author, is the highest form of intangible force. The highest. The highest. So the things that we are today are the things that we thought we would be yesterday. And the things that we would be tomorrow are the things that we think today that we would be tomorrow. So if it is the highest intangible force, be intentional about the energy that you exert in thoughts. Chapter 14 is titled "The Sixth Sense, the Door to the Temple of Wisdom." Said the sixth sense is the portion of the subconscious mind that has been referred to as the creative imagination. It also has been referred to as the receiving set, through which ideas, plans, and thoughts flash into the mind. The flashes are sometimes called hunches or inspirations. Hunches or inspirations. And the sixth sense is believed to be the part of the human's mind which connects directly to the universe. So, sometimes you just get a hunch that you should do something or not do something. Maybe you want to go out and then something tells you, don't go, or do this. This is going to happen, and all of that. We get those hunches sometimes. So that is your sixth sense at work. The author said, through the aid of the sixth sense, you'll be warned of impending danger in time to avoid them, and notified of opportunities in time to embrace them. How many of us have had something happen to us and be like, I knew this was going to happen. Like, I felt it. And sometimes something bad is going to happen. Like for people who have lost loved ones, they felt it, but they didn't know what they were feeling. They just knew something wrong had happened. So your sixth sense is responsible for all of these for letting you in on information that you naturally wouldn't have known. You get, because it is not within your physical radar to know, but then there's just a knowing something is about to happen. I shouldn't be in a place, or I should do this because I have a hunch that this is going to work. We've all had those experiences. I mean, I have. So all the great minds we know, all of them, they tap into the power of the sixth sense. You are more powerful than you think if you just begin to see yourself that way. And, just to wrap up this chapter, I'd like to, advise us to meditate a lot, because people who even birth great things, they are deep into meditation. Chapter 15, titled How to Outwit the Sixth Ghost of Fear. It says, before you can put any portion of this philosophy into successful use, your mind must be prepared to receive it. The preparation is not difficult. It begins with study, analysis, and understanding of three enemies you shall have to clear out. These are indecision, doubt, and fear. And the author said that these three things, indecision, doubt, and fear, they germinate and take root in you without even being noticed. You may not even know that you are suffering from indecision. You may not even know that you are scared. You get, until opportunities come, and then, in the face of an opportunity, you fall off. That's when you would know that, man, this thing was there the whole while and I didn't even realize it. So the author mentioned six basic human fears. Said the fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love of someone. So loss of love of someone. So someone stops loving you. Then the fear of old age and the fear of death. I think the fear of old age and death, I don't know for you which is yours. I dealt with criticism a long time ago. Nah. I don't really, people must always talk, so what's the point of giving ear to that? I think once upon a time I was really worried about how am I going, what's life going to be like when I'm old? Would my children send me like to an old people's home? Would I be able to give myself a bath and all of those things? And then also I used to worry as well about death. What's life going to be like afterwards? Until I gained some certain understanding. This one has to do with my spirituality, so that's on another level. So, but we need to deal with all of these human fears, else we will not let our lives go so that we can achieve. If you are trying to be so careful, you would not amount to much. Give off all of those fears. And the author also said that fear is the state of the mind. So why not change the state of your mind? Yes. So change it. If you must amount to much, you must deal with fear, indecision, and doubt. The last chapter, 16. It is titled The Devil's Workshop. And you know where that is? It's the mind. The mind. Yes. So the author said, let's call this evil, because it's an evil. It said it's the seventh basic evil. So let's call this evil susceptibility to negative influences. We have been shouting and screaming since. Protect your mind. Guard your heart. Be intentional about your thoughts. The same way you are fighting to plant positive things in it, the enemy is planning to influence you with negative thoughts. He will use friends, families, neighbors, everybody. Naysayers. We talked about naysayers in the previous video. He will use a lot of things, a lot of persons, that's the enemy, to try to plant negative ideas in your head. Yes, but you are the Lord of your heart. You are the Lord of your mind. You are in charge. You have to kick this nigger out. There's nothing that takes residence in your heart that you didn't give permission to stay. You get? So if fear is what has taken residence, you gave it permission. So kick it out. So in summary, if one must amount to anything important, we must be intentional about everything. We must be very intentional, from the things that we desire to the things that we think to every single thing. And I won't go without saying that you cannot be having wishful thinkings. Start working on your desires, start working on your dreams, start working on your goals. You will meet challenges. Tell yourself, I can overcome. You cannot delegate, the responsibility of achieving your dreams and goals to another person. It is you who would do it for yourself. So I want to hope that we enjoyed this book. I also have another interesting book coming up. The next video, you're going to like it. It's not such a big book, but I would want us to, not miss anything. I like to take my time. So see you next time. Please keep sharing and keep subscribing and keep liking. I love you from the depth of my heart. Bye.